happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros, and this is a little space I like to carve out as a speaker and as a coach to share different tools, techniques, nuggets, stories, anecdotes to hopefully help you as they have helped me and clients and people that I've worked with to move the needle closer to our version of healthy and happy, whatever that might mean for us for today, right? Because we have to take personal responsibility. I've said this before and I'll keep saying it again and again. We have to stop asking other people to be different so that we can feel better, right? We have to start owning our responsibility for our health and happiness. And that's why I carved out this space so I can share some tools and techniques and things. So right now, I notice that there are some people, and I've been having these conversations, who are starting to get a little on edge and a little anxious about the weather changing and about the realities that the time is going to change. The clock is going to go back and it's going to start getting dark at 4 o'clock. And they're already starting to feel anxious about the thing that isn't even here yet, right? So if you find yourself in a space where you start to feel anxious about what isn't here, because anxiety really is about worrying about things we cannot control in the future. And the reality is we know that that's coming. So if you can feel yourself being that person and feeling that way, when you catch yourself, which is why self-awareness is so important, it's such a pivotal catalyst for change, because if we cannot change what we're not aware of, right? So once you become aware that you're doing that and you're in that space, take some deep breaths and then create for yourself a mantra or a statement that's going to help you root yourself into the present moment. Is that coming? Yes, it is. Don't deny that it's going to come, because it's coming, right? Is that coming? Yes, it is. Is it here today? No. So today, while it's sunny and it's beautiful outside, I'm going to go for a walk at 5 o'clock because I can. It's not dark out, or whatever, right? Root yourself, take responsibility to own the moment, to acknowledge the reality of what is coming, and then own the present moment. And just as much as possible, let yourself be present and fully enjoy this moment, right? It's a practice of feeling ourselves being pulled and then like, no, come back. Coming back to ourselves. And the more that we practice that coming back to ourselves, the easier it gets for us to pull ourselves back, and the less likely we are to go there, because the practice is, I find myself going there, I pull myself back. I find myself going there, I pull myself back. I find myself going there, I pull myself back. I go there, I pull back. I go, wait, I'm not going all the way there. Wait, right? See what I'm saying? I hope that made sense. It made sense in my head. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is I do this thing called a contingency plan. I remember many years ago, I signed a contract and there was a contingency plan. If this were to happen, here's what we all agree to. If in the case that this was to happen, here's what we all agreed to, and we all signed it, and that was the contingency plan. We never ended up using it, but it was nice to know that it was there in case whatever the thing was popped off, we had action steps ready to go. So really what I'm offering you today is this idea of a contingency plan, and it should look different from person to person, and it should look different or have some alterations from situation to situation. So if you are someone who finds that when the weather starts to change and when it starts to get darker earlier, you yourself notice that you go to a dark place. Maybe you start to feel a little bit of depression. Maybe you start to overeat. Maybe you start to sleep too much. Maybe all you want to do is be a glub of a human and sit on the couch and like, man, right? Because the weather doesn't, for you, like entice you to get outdoors and do fun stuff with your life. Okay, if you know that about yourself, self-awareness is key, and you know that this is coming, I'm aware of what's happening and upcoming in my future, how can you create a plan to help support who you are so that when that comes, like the contingency plan in the contract, when that thing happens, here are the steps we're going to take. Now, the thing about the contingency plan is you're never going to get it right the first time, because if you've never done one before, and if you're still in the process of understanding who you are, what brings you joy, how you return to your own inner peace, and how you can root yourself and anchor yourself into that, then this is going to be a playful, and it should be playful, unpacking process that allows you to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Because again, it should look different from person to person. I remember having a conversation with my sister about what a fun day was. And for me, I'm like, let's jump out of a plane. Let's go eat some sushi. Let's take a quick nap. And then we go, like to the gym. And she's like, how about we crochet, watch a movie, and take a 6-hour nap? Very different versions of fun. So it will look different from you to the next person. And it might look different based on the situation. So the contingency plan is something that you don't only have to use, for if you're dealing with seasonal affective disorder. It's not only that. It's something that you could use when you feel yourself getting really angry and you find that you always spew venom and you don't want to be that person anymore. Okay, what's your plan? First and foremost, you have to be aware of when you're about to spew venom or when you get to that place that your anger is heightened enough that it shuts off your capacity to be like a kind human, right? So first, I have to be aware. And then when I practice that I'm aware, then I know I have this plan to support me. And maybe for me, that plan is, first for me, I separate myself from the situation or the incident or the person because I don't want to say something that's going to be disrespectful and hurtful that I can't take back. And I know that sometimes if I get really to the top of that place, I'm going to go there. Right? So I own that and I know that about myself and I'm working on that. So when I created my first contingency plan based on that, that's what it said. Walk away. That was the first step. So I walked away. And then when I got away from the situation, whether it was in my car, in another room, in the bathroom, I would start taking deep breaths. And I was very clear, like, take 10 deep breaths, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 4. The more clarity we provide when we're in a space of sanity, the better we have this map to kind of follow through. If you just say, take deep breaths and you're angry, that could be a deep breath when you're angry. So be very clear about what it is that you should do for yourself to support you, right? Because for me, deep breathing really becomes an anchor. And then remind myself, for me, it was remind myself of who I want to be in my relationship dynamics and of my core values. I want to show up with love. I want to show up with respect. I want to honor this other person. I want to be able to have like a healthy relationship, and I cannot let my emotions dictate how I treat the people in my life. That is not their responsibility to handle or to navigate. Though my emotions are mine. So I created this plan. And then when I calmed down, if I had my phone, I would listen to like some Sade. She always helps me get feeling in the mood. Or if I had the space and the time, I would go somewhere and just dance. Moving my body for me helped me release energy, right? And then I would return to the person or the thing and look for resolution. That was my contingency plan when I felt myself getting really angry. So if you know that you either spew whenever you get angry, or you know that this situation's coming up because winter's coming, or you know that this one person that you work with at your job, you allow them to press your buttons. And yeah, I did just say that because there are people who will come in and like, man, they will intentionally. And then the question is, are your buttons pushable, right? Because if they're pushable, some people will be those people who push buttons because it makes them feel powerful. What is your plan? If you know it's coming, you know who you are, you know the situation, you're self-aware enough. What is your plan to support yourself, to take care of yourself so that you can show up in the ways that you want to show up, not just resort to reacting when really what we want to do is intentionally responding, right? And again, this could be something that's short term, like we're in a disagreement and I can feel myself getting angry, so I know I have to walk away. Or this is my plan for the whole winter, right? For me, I know that when I go get a membership at the Y and I just get like a swim membership, so I'm not using the whole gym, it's cheaper, it's cost efficient. If I do that in the winter, I feel better because I'm in a bathing suit in the winter. It's like a mind game, right? A friend of mine, she makes sure that every winter she picks up a new hobby because it's a lot of downtime at work. So she'll pick up a hobby and it makes her feel like she's committed to something. She's intentional. She can't just sit in front of the TV and like, man, right? So what is it that you can do to support yourself? Maybe you get a different light bulb. Maybe you go tanning. I'm not kidding. And I'm not saying tan every other day. You don't want to look like leather, but making sure that you're getting sunlight in some way, right? Maybe once a week you do a tanning for 5 minutes, at night so that you get that vitamin D. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. My point is this. You have the capacity to learn about you. And the reality is that you are the expert on you, whether you're taking on that responsibility in truth or not. That is the truth. So how can you use the information that you're learning about who you are in order to create plans, supports, and structures that honor where you are right now at this moment and help you move the needle to healthier and happier in a constructive and loving way? Contingency plan. Boom. That's it. That's all I got. That's a lot. I know. I do whole workshops on this and I'm trying to cram it into 10 minutes. If you have questions, holla, let me know. I'm sending you love and light, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who can benefit from it, share it. And if you haven't already, what you waiting for? Subscribe to my channel. Like, get your little nuggets once a week. Okay? Okay? All right. I gotta go. Sending you love and light. Peace!